Now, what's better than being on a DoorDash Dash or run and getting paid instantly? So it's cash on delivery. I'm at the drop off, I'm finishing the assignments, and I'm gonna get some cash instantly. What's better than fast pay, right? You don't gotta wait for anything. There's no fast pay transfer fees. I get actual cash. Well, cash on delivery has been out as a DoorDash feature for about 2 years now. And I just took a cash on delivery run. This video is going to be your complete guide, what to expect, what happened, any potential for problems, and then at least an initial verdict. And I'm going to compare with your thoughts in the live chat or the comment section about cash on delivery. Should you opt in 2025 under my Dasher preferences? Is this a good offer type? I know plenty of Dashers are going to say absolutely not. I don't want to touch cash at all in this whole process on any app. It doesn't have to be DoorDash, or there'll be other gig workers, DoorDashers, that'll be like, well, I can get instant pay, basically cash. I'll have the money in hand. Yes, you will, but there's a lot of considerations. Let's get into this. Look for this as a DoorDash Dasher. So I was driving just a couple of days ago. If this is the first time you and I are meeting, my name is Mike. I've been doing gig work starting right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in 2015 with rideshare, then delivery, and then grocery, and then parcel, basically in every major gig app and platform. So I was driving the other day, here in Pittsburgh, 12:18 p.m., as you can see in the top left, and I got this offer. My first one ever. All right, $6.50, Mike. Guaranteed pay, including tips. It's 2.5 miles. And I'm looking here at the details, and I see this. Pick up at Pizza Hut's, okay, and customer drop off, collect cash from customer. And I just had a moment. I was sitting there and thinking, I just got my first ever cash on delivery. So if you want to know if you're opted into this, go into your home screen, go into the account tab at the bottom there, and then go into your preferences. If you have Dasher preferences, you might see it here. So I see this collect cash from customer, and then I scroll on, and the app tells me this. This is what you're going to see here. Now, let me ask you this. If you're watching live or in the replay, it doesn't matter. Type it somewhere so I can see it. What is the maximum amount of cash if you're going to do this, what's the maximum amount of cash that you take? This is mine, like $20, $50, 100 plus if it's like a huge sushi order. Let's see what I got. So it says, all right, Mike, the customer will pay $21.39 in cash for this order. Number one, keep the cash you collect from the customer, including tips, will deduct $21.39 from your total weekly balance. Number two, you may have to provide change. Yes. So we recommend carrying small bills. Now, I mentioned this cash on delivery. It came out about 2 years ago. September 2022 is when I noted it here in Pittsburgh. And you can search cash on delivery on the channel if you want to see that initial announcement. We'd love to have you as a team member here. Consider subscribing if you already have. I appreciate it. Just simply, all you need to do is drop a like on this video, right? Carrying cash. Initially, DoorDash said, well, we want you to carry like $15 or like $20 in bills. And then I believe they either removed that amount or they lowered it to like $10, $10 or $15, whatever it is. The point being, they want you to carry some change. So you have some cash. I have some cash already. I'm supposed to, if you're opting in, and then I'm going to get even more cash. So I know if you have reservations, I'm going to get your Q&A after this here. Number three, you can decline this order without affecting your acceptance or completion rates. So why does that matter? Like, I don't care. I don't care about my acceptance rate. Well, if you're a Dasher and you're going for Dasher rewards, I just did a whole challenge. You can watch that video after this one, accepting everything for 8, like just straight dashing hours. That's if you happen to be trying to boost your AR, or if your completion rate is, teetering near that 90% requirement threshold, then you'll care, right? Then you'll care. But this one will not be affected if you decline this offer. On top of that, you may have to return the order if the delivery is unsuccessful. We're going to go over that in this video, exactly what DoorDash says, what you're saying, and then, the real world of what might happen when you're interfacing with the customer here. So let's continue on my offer here. And I see, again, feel free to let me know. We see $168 from ROI now, getting cash here. Let me know what's the max you'd ever take. So whenever you get to the customer's destination, this is the screen you're going to see, at least in part. Okay. Let's go top down. Pretty simple. It says pick it up. Well, this is, the pickup process in this case. So, got the order. Then it says this store can make change. Remember, this was a Pizza Hut in my example here. The reason I'm showing you this is because if you have like a 10, like exactly like I had, I was like, oh, I can make change here. Let's do this, Pizza Hut. We recommend carrying, boom, right there, $10 to $15 in cash in combination of small bills and or change. So I had a 10 on me and I'm like, all right, well, I hope they can give me change. And then it said this, if you need a pizza bag, ask the store if they have one. So I just wanted to show you that because if you can get a pizza bag for free, this was at a Pizza Hut. Okay. So I'm curious, have you seen this at a Papa John's? Have you seen this at a local spot? Or have you only seen this at a Pizza Hut and or other national chains, right? Because this saves you like what, at least $20. I guess in bulk, it would be cheaper. But if you can get a free pizza bag, in this case, for my offer here on Pizza Hut, I was like, all right, cool. Pretty good. Because DoorDash even says you have a couple options to get a pizza bag. You can order a new one from the Dasher store for a fee, right? Or you can just use your own if you have one. But they're saying right here, you can get one for free. So, okay, cool. Let's continue though with cash on delivery. And then there's the pizza bag right there. Okay. So here's the drop off. Now it gives you the same information, but it's going to say right there, right, collect the $21.39 in cash. But what if there's a problem, right? So my address, my info, it's going to be handed to me. But what if there's a problem? Let me show you. Let me show you at this point what DoorDash says about cash on delivery. And I want to discuss this with you in the live chat. I appreciate you being here. Or if you're watching on the replay. Okay, so yes, you get paid the minute you deliver the order. Because why? Because you're handing over cash. Like the person's giving you cash, right? Once you collect the payment, you're done. Keep 100% of the cash, including any tips. The money you collect is yours to keep, and the order amounts will be automatically deducted from your next direct deposit. You can check your weekly earnings breakdown to see any cash amounts deducted. Note that any and all tips are yours to keep and won't be subtracted from your earning balance. So remember my example, it was $21.39. I got, what was it? Like $23.30 or something. I got a little bit more than the pay that was on the app. So there's a tip in there, but they're going to subtract the amount for the order and then you keep the remaining amounts. Let's continue though. And here's an example of a $12 offer. Mine was $21. We saw one that was almost $70. Now I'm not going to go over all this. Again, feel free to search cash on delivery on the channel here if you'd like. But most important, I think, what we need to know about, yes, they want you to carry change, $10 to $15 in small bills, but right here, what should you do if there's an issue collecting payments? If you encounter an issue, tap Issue Collecting Cash Payments in the Dasher app and select one of the options. Customer was short on cash. I do not have any change. Customer unavailable, or customer refused to pay. This is what I want to talk to you about right now. This, what might actually happen in the real world, because I want to go over each and every one of these and what you should do in this scenario. Because listen, like we all know the food delivery in general, it's not hard. It's not hard to operationally go to a restaurant, pick something up and deliver it. Now, I always say that's kind of what makes it hard because it's so easy. There's a very small barrier to entry, but to maximize your income, or in this case, minimize headaches, this is what you're going to want to know here. So let's go over each and every one of these. Customer was short on cash. What should you do in that scenario? What do you think? If the customer was short on cash, what would you say? If mine was $21.39 and the customer says, man, you know what? Hey, this pizza's hot, man. I don't want to have, you don't want to drive back. I got $20, right? $1.39 short. That's it. What would you say? Let me know in the live chat or the comments right now. And then I'll ask you this. What are you going to do? Are you going to say, I'm really curious about this because I was thinking about this when this was happening to me. So if they give you $20, it is $21.39. At what point do you say, I can't deliver this? No, it's $21.39. You're short. I can't deliver it. Now I'm going to show you what DoorDash tells you to do. Or would you say, oh man, they're going to tell me to get rid of the order. I don't really want to do that. Whatever it may be. Would you ever take it? Like if they're short $1, they're short $1.30. Would you ever just be like, all right, here, just give me the 20, give me what you have? Because DoorDash tells you just to discard it. Well, I'll go, you can see it right here, but I want to go over these scenarios next. Because look, the real world again versus what DoorDash is going to tell you to do. I just want you to know what could happen. I always want you to follow terms of service, obviously. That's what I always intend to do. Always follow terms of service here. I want you to protect your account. But number 2, I do not have any change. Remember my story? It was $21.39. I didn't have any change. I had a 10 on me. So what's going to happen there? If they give me $25, they're like, oh, can I get change? And if I have a 10 on me, I'm going to I got a 10. That's it. So I was saved by the Pizza Hut and the Dasher app saying I could get change. So if you plan on doing, unfortunately, cash on delivery, you probably should have the 5 and 5 ones, have $1 or $2 in quarters, some change, I guess. That's what they want you to have. But in actuality, if you don't have change, that's another issue. Do you want to do this all? Let me know. Is this worth it? All right. Is this all worth it? Customer unavailable. Number 3. I'm reading this from right here, folks. This is directly from DoorDash's support page. Why would the customer ever be unavailable? Not just on cash on delivery, but I'm really curious. Let me know right now. Have you ever had, I've done thousands of deliveries. Now I'm thinking here, if I've ever had a customer that was unavailable. I did have one on Uber Eats where they were not home and it was a hand it to me and they weren't there. So you click on can't contact customer. This was on Uber Eats, but then it starts the timer similar to what DoorDash has. You have to sit there and it's call and or text the customer. And then I did both. I'm I'm at the front door. You want it to be handed to me. And then at some point it'll let you drop it off contact list. That customer, wonderful, just, wonderfully said they didn't receive it. So you can't necessarily even deliver this though on cash on delivery because you need the cash. You can't deliver it if they're unavailable. So this is different than just a regular food delivery job because you can't wait out a timer because you need to get paid, right? Next one. Customer refused to pay. Can you imagine? Look, safety is number one. Safety is number one for all of us, right? And use extra caution if you're delivering in a not so great area, right? If we can be real, use extra caution, obviously, when delivering at night. Use extra caution if you have a bad feeling. Listen, I'm just going to tangent here for a second. If you ever have a bad feeling of a delivery, if it seems super sketchy, if you feel like something is off, I wouldn't even get out of the car. Don't even get out of the car. You don't even have to stop the car. Okay. If something seems sketchy, I'm pulling up and it just something looks funny about the scenario at this drop-off location. Just keep going. Keep going and immediately contact support, whatever app it is. It's not just DoorDash, but I don't want you to ever be in a scenario where you feel uncomfortable. Neither do these companies, right? But imagine you got there, you did park, you did get out, and then they told you, you know what? I don't really want to pay for it, right? And they're just being a jerk, or they're trying to scam you, like either through an excuse or just being flat out rude. Like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to pay you. Just give it here. Or they're like, hey, or if they do like listen, I ordered this. You can see I'm struggling right now. Can you please just hand it to me? The company's still going to pay you something if you say that I don't have the money, and that's what we'll see right down here, what the company does. Like, can you just hand it to me? I think this unfortunately opens up scenarios like this of not common, certainly, but the rare fringe scenarios. Listen, there's millions of Dashers, individually, we're doing hundreds or thousands of deliveries a year times 7 million Dashers or counterfeit money. Melody said, thanks for being here. Exactly. It reminds me of alcohol deliveries. When alcohol with, whatever app it is, not just DoorDash, where now you're turning from a courier to like a verification checkpoint where you're checking an ID for validity, and then you're also checking the individual for signs of intoxication, and you're checking for other criteria that these apps want you to look for, parties and this and that. So let me continue though. In those scenarios, do not collect cash from the customer. DoorDash will provide a base pay for the order, and your completion rates won't be affected. So I asked you, if it's $21.39, Mike, hey, buddy, sorry, I just got a 20. DoorDash tells you right here, don't collect the cash. But then below that, it says discard the order. Discard the order if the customer was, short on cash, unavailable because they didn't pay at all, or refused to pay. Now, this is probably the most important part of the video, so lean into this. Please drop a like on the video right now if you can. If you're away from your phone or computer, please come back and drop a like just for this one point here. They say you may deliver the order to the customer if the issue was you don't have change. I, as a Dasher, don't have any change. They say, you can deliver it. Remember, you're still receiving the base pay for the order, and your completion rate won't be affected. So I need your help right here. Someone let me know in the live chat or the comments section. Have you ever had to do this right here? Please let me know in the live or the comment, because this is the first cash on delivery I've ever received. My major app is DoorDash. I just never have received a cash on delivery, basically. So those that have you ever had it to where you didn't have change? So let's say they gave you $25 and then they were supposed to pay like $20.75, right? So DoorDash says, just deliver it. But do you take the cash in that sense? Because listen, if you don't have change and it's a $20, let's say, and 75 cents, and they give you 25, you don't have change, the customer is going to say, well, you know what? Just keep it. Or they're going to say, ooh, can I just like, well, in this case it's 75 cents, but like imagine, my order that's $21.39. If they give you 25, they're going to either say, just keep it, man. Or they're going to say, you know what, buddy? Like, can I just give you 20? Right? Where does that fall under? Well, let's continue here. What should you do if you have an issue collecting the cash payment? Now, it talks about contacting support and other escalation features like the Safe Dash and stuff like that, emergency assistance button. But I think if I can just backtrack here a second, what's most interesting is when it says don't collect cash from the customer and discard the order. I want to finish on this because it's great that they have safety features. That's number one, but I think we're missing something right here. So let me backtrack. Look at this. So in any of these scenarios right here, they say, do not collect cash from the customer. Okay. And then discard the order. If any of these things are true, short on cash, unavailable, or refuse to pay. So let's address this. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts on this. Can you easily discard the order if number one, the customer was short on cash? So it was $21.39. Let's just stay on my example. It was $21.39. They only had a 20. You are supposed to say, I can't deliver it. Unfortunately, you're short on the cash. And then you walk away. Now, DoorDash says discard it. I mean, you can do with the order what you please. You get my point there. But you're not going to deliver it. So I can imagine some dashers are going to have some tricky situations there with the customer. Now, again, listen, if the customer only has $20 and it's $21.39, I have a pizza and you follow the directive by DoorDash. Hey, unfortunately, I need $21.39 to make this delivery. I'm instructed just not to deliver it. I apologize. And just trying, that's me using my customer service skills, just trying to make you seem like completely not aggressive at all. You're just like, hey, I'm sorry. I don't want to do this, but that's what they're telling me to do. Sometimes that customer is going to get upset. Now, what I'm saying is if they get aggressive, if they get angry and aggressive, you better just hand that thing over. If they get aggressive, right, or physical, and if they escalate, you hand that thing over. I don't care how short they are. I don't care if they say, I'm not going to pay you at all. If they get extremely aggressive, you hand that thing over and you get out of there and instantly contact support, and ideally on the phone, and tell them exactly what happened. Once you've driven away and parked somewhere further away, right? Please. Next scenario. Can you discard the order if they're unavailable? Sure. Now, the only thing with that is you are probably just going to get base pay, right? So look here. In this scenario, do not collect cash from the customer. DoorDash will provide base pay. And hey, folks, if I could be so bold here, this is exactly why I do want you to subscribe, be a part of the team here. And if you are, like our team members watching right now, who I'm hoping are all subscribed in the live chat, right, guys? Right? But this is why, because I want to help you read through these scenarios to understand, like, hey, this isn't as simple as it seems. Weigh the pros and cons. It's not all bad. I think 99+% of these offers are fine. But when and if anything like this happens, I want you to know exactly like what to expect. So number two, if they're unavailable, can you discard the order? Of course. Here's what I'll tell you with this though. I can't imagine many offers they'll be unavailable, but here's when they might be. If they just passed out, if they took a nap and they fell asleep, it happens, especially if it's during a party and no one's answering the phone, no one's answering the door if you have to knock or whatever, and they're just like not responsive, then yeah, they could be unavailable. Now, this is not a hand it to me that turns into a contact list. This is like, hey, you didn't pay, so you have to discard the order in this case. So yeah, that can happen when they're unavailable. Just contact them, follow the prompts. It can happen. My only other point there is just be safe. Again, this always comes down to safety because we're dealing with cash here, but just be safe. And what I mean is, like, be aware of your surroundings if they're unavailable. I think that's going to be pretty rare that someone's unavailable when they place the order like 30, 40 minutes ago. But again, someone could fall asleep or whatever it is. So that's what I always do in every delivery. I'm just like, I scan my surroundings, right? Especially obviously in the evening, not so much during the day. It depends on where you're delivering, right? But our third scenario here. So the customer refused to pay. Can you not collect cash from the customer and then just get your base pay and leave? So third scenario, they say, nope, no, I'm not going to pay that. $21.39, I'm not going to pay that. You're not going to collect cash, obviously, because they refuse to. You're going to get paid base pay, which is probably $2 to $4. It can go up to $10, but it's probably about $2 to $4 base pay. So you're not going to get the full pay, right? What do? I'll tell you what not to do first. Okay. I know some Dashers might do this, so consider sharing this with someone who does DoorDash. Don't argue. Please don't argue or pressure them to hand over some money, right? Because then that puts you in a very tricky scenario with someone who you don't know this person. You don't know the environment, possibly, if it depends if you're familiar with the area, but you might be in an unknown area talking to someone you don't know. Who knows what the situation there is? And if they refuse to pay, don't argue, don't escalate. What I would do, and this is very tricky, this is what I would do. I've had years in customer service. Here's what I would do. So, firstly, we do want to try to reason. Say, well, I understand, you don't want to pay if you're short on money, or, if you change your mind, then, that's fine. I can just take this back to the restaurant. Not a real big deal. I drove out here, but it's all good. I'll probably get another order. So I always try to de-escalate. I always try to just downplay it. Like, oh, I got you, man. Like, I change my mind too sometimes. It's all good. I'll take it back. The restaurant will probably take it. Hopefully they give it to me, like be like lighthearted like that. Like, oh, hopefully the restaurant gives it to me, but I'll just discard it, I guess, if not. That's if they're nice, right? If they're nice and they truly change their mind, they're like, oh no, I don't want you to have to drive back, man. But like, I appreciate that. Truly, if they don't have a lot of money and they realize they shouldn't be spending this money, right? Maybe they change their mind. And then obviously what you might be thinking is like, no, man, what happens if they're like rude about it? They're like, yeah, I'm not going to pay, buddy. Or if they've been like drinking or whatever it is. So what do you say in that case? I would say like, hey, I understand, man. Like, I would love to get some free food too, but I don't want you to lose access to using DoorDash, man. Like, do you have it asking me for $21.39? Do you have it? Like, just ask one more time. They're like, nah. Like, well, I'm supposed to, discard it if you guys can't pay. And then again, try to deflect it. Make, I could probably just get another order, I guess. I'm not going to get paid for this, which kind of stinks, but I can't give it to you, unfortunately. Now if they do anything to escalate, like, nah, you're going to give it to me. Yeah, I'm not going to pay for this. Again, just give the thing to them, bite the bullet, get the base pay, report it to DoorDash support, ideally via phone instantly. And that person's going to lose access to the DoorDash customer app. If they do that one time, I would imagine the company's not going to give them 3 strikes on that. If you do something like that to a Dasher, I would imagine your customer account is gone. So was it worth it? Great. You just pressured a Dasher, you got some free food, and you got banned from the account. I know there's other ways that people sign up for accounts, whatever, prepaid cards, a different phone number and stuff like that. I don't care. I don't care what they do. DoorDash can handle that. I care about your safety in that moment. So don't pressure, don't try to squeeze them on. Just if they're aggressive with that, just hand that thing over, right? AJ, I appreciate the super sticker here, folks. I'm going to get in your Q&A in just a second here. I'm going to wrap this up and get your thoughts on this. So speaking of, let me give you my initial verdict on cash on delivery. So I think like a lot of these features in the gig economy, again, 99% are going to be fine. Even when I did more ride share, even from 10 p.m. until 4 a.m., which was my normal shift. I had my day job, and then I would usually drive later in the evening, especially on the weekends. That even that, which you could argue is a more volatile niche, like more stuff can kind of go wrong per se on rideshare than just delivering food. So I do think food delivery is less risk, right, than rideshare. I think most everyone would agree with that. When you opt into things like this, though, it's going to bump up that risk a little bit. Again, it's still not touching the risk level of rideshare. Every single ride, you have a stranger in that vehicle, and they're like, 2 feet behind you, and you can't even see them. Again, I don't want to scare you. Like, I'm just letting you know the risk. Most rides are completely fine. I drove all over Pittsburgh. So with food delivery, it is a super low risk niche. But again, if you accept this, the risk increases slightly. So what can I do, Mike, to minimize my risk on cash on delivery? Here's what I would do. I would look for any signs of any escalation, right? If they're arguing, if they don't want to pay the money, you already know what to do. Hand it over, leave, report, right? I don't think a lot are going to be like that. I do think on the Pro, this will be few and far between, hopefully. And it will give you access to instant funds and just another earnings option, because now I have, cash on delivery, retail, package returns, grocery, the restaurants. I have, what else? Well, there's Dasher tasks, right? The point is there's a lot of different ways to earn on DoorDash, which is good here. I think this might not be for you if you don't want to carry cash. If you don't want to carry any cash at all, because they say $10 to $15 in bills. And frankly, I was lucky that I had the $10 the bill on me at the time. I never really carry cash. I don't think a lot of people carry cash anymore. Maybe you do. You can let me know. But if you don't want to carry cash at all, this isn't for you. All you have to do, go into Dasher preferences, turn it off, and you'll never see these offers. Or if you do opt in, remember, if you happen to see one of these pop up, let me show you one more time. It's going to look something like this. It's going to have that tag that says collect cash. Then just simply decline it. And it's also not going to hurt your acceptance rate or your completion rate. So let me know what you think about cash on delivery. I want to get your opinions here.